Welcome back. Let me get straight into it because this is something a lot of men misunderstand. And that is the reason why she won't commit to you. More particularly, the number one reason why a woman won't commit to you. And trust me, it's not your looks, your money, or your status, or the infamous six pack, six figures, six whatevers. But the main reason is uncertainty. And uncertainty, it kills commitment. That's how it works. It's not uncertainty about whether you like her or whether she likes you. That part should be obvious. It usually is very obvious. It's uncertainty about who you are, where you stand, and what being with you actually means. Commitment doesn't grow from excitement alone. It grows out of clarity, which is a word I'll will be using a lot of the time in a lot of episodes because clarity is one thing that is extremely important. And when clarity is missing, something subtle but more important happens. Uncertainty starts to feel unsafe, and unsafe starts to feel unsettling. And unsettling or uneasiness slowly turns into something about this doesn't feel right. And that is not a position we want her to be in. That's the moment commitment stops developing. Here's how this usually shows up in real life. And you know what I'm talking about. You've probably been there. You're present, but you're inconsistent. You're interested, but you're being vague. You're warm and engaged one week or one day, and then distant or distracted the next. You might think you're being relaxed or low pressure. Sure. You might even think you're doing the quote unquote right thing by not pushing. But from her perspective, this experience isn't freedom or relaxed, it's instability. And instability doesn't invite commitment, not at all. It puts it on hold. A woman can enjoy your company and she can feel attracted to you and she can even care about you quite a lot and still be hesitant to commit, especially if she doesn't feel grounded around you, if she doesn't know what version of you she's going to get. She will always be on high alert instead of being relaxed. That's not drama, that's self protection, and rightfully so. Uncertain feels unsafe, and unsafe doesn't feel romantic at all. It feels unsettling, and we want a woman to feel safe around us. And when something keeps feeling unsettling, her brain doesn't label this as a, well, maybe, someday, one day. No, it will label this as a, nope, this isn't going to happen. Here's a very common mistake. A man avoids defining things because he's afraid of scaring her off. We keep it open ended, we keep it casual and flexible. We're playing it cool, we're playing the field. I get it. I get it. We keep our options open. And, this guy, or we as guys, we think we're giving her space. But what we're actually doing is removing structure from the connection. Without structure, she doesn't know where she stands. Without knowing where she stands, she can't relax. And without relaxation, commitment will not happen. And if she is relaxed and if she does feel easy around you, if she does feel safe around you, a lot of beautiful things can happen. So what happens? She waits, she watches, and she stays emotionally guarded. And eventually she will pull back. Not because she didn't like you, but because nothing felt solid enough to step into with you. Another version of this is when your words and your behavior don't line up. As a guy, but I think as a human being, when you say something, you got to do it. You say A, then you got to follow up with A. Say what you're going to do, then do it. So, a man says he wants something serious, but his actions don't reflect it. He doesn't plan ahead, he doesn't follow through consistently. Basically, he keeps one foot in the door. or out the door, for the just in case. That is not being serious. If you say you want something serious, then the action of just keeping one foot in the door, you know, that doesn't seem to match with the words. Behavior doesn't line up. That mixed signal creates uncertainty. And, look at maybe some past interactions you've had with women. When you get mixed signals and you feel uneasy and uncertain, you don't want to, commit to her. Why would you? You feel uneasy. And uncertainty, it never feels safe. This is why women don't commit to promises, they commit to patterns. Patterns tell her what life with you would actually feel like: calm or chaotic, steady or confusing, supportive or emotionally unpredictable. Here's the uncomfortable truth men miss: commitment doesn't require perfection, because we're humans and we're not perfect. What it does require is predictability, emotional consistency, a sense that being with you doesn't require constant decoding and, figuring out what the hell is going on. Predictable doesn't mean boring, and that's something a lot of guys, but also women, confuse, and that is that predictable is boring. But predictable means trustworthy. You know, she'll know where she stands with you. She knows what kind of guy you are. When a woman feels that she has to analyze your tone, interpret your silence, or manage the emotional temperature of the connection, she might stay interested, sure, but she won't settle in, never. And settling in is what commitment really is. This is also why trying harder often backfires. When you feel her pulling away, you might increase effort, more messages, more reassurance, more availability, but if the underlying uncertainty is still there, all of that extra effort just feels very noisy. You don't fix uncertainty by doing more, you fix it by being clearer. Clear about what you want, clear about where you stand, clear about what you're available for, clear in how you show up consistently. And here's the part that matters most. If you're afraid that clarity will push her away, because that's what a lot of guys do, we play it cool, we don't want to scare her off, and, we're afraid that clarity might push her away. That fear is already part of the problem. Because the right woman doesn't get scared by grounded clarity. She'll relax into it because she feels safe. She feels at ease with you. And uncertainty doesn't feel safe. It feels unsafe and unsettling. And unsettling is where commitment goes to die. Clarity creates safety, and safety is where commitment grows. So if she won't commit to you, don't ask how to convince her. Ask where you've been unclear. Is it your actions, your presence, or just you being inconsistent? Because commitment doesn't come from pressure, it comes from stability. So, uncertain is unsafe, unsafe is unsettling, and unsettling turns into a nope. Keep that to yourself, use it wisely, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye bye.